In the United States, Donald Trump's re-election campaign is continuing efforts to overturn the results of this month's presidential election, 2 weeks after his Democratic challenger Joe Biden won the national ballot. A flurry of lawsuits have been thrown out by courts after failing to show any evidence of misconduct. And a hand recount of ballots in the state of Georgia has reconfirmed Biden as the winner. But at an extraordinary press conference, Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, continued to make baseless allegations of fraud.
We cannot allow these crooks, because that's what they are, to steal an election from the American people. They elected Donald Trump. They didn't elect Joe Biden. Joe Biden is in the lead because of the fraudulent ballots.
Well, let's get the latest from Washington, D.C. Our reporter Colin Campbell is there. Colin, morning to you. You know, this is a really bizarre process that we find ourselves in. Are Trump and Giuliani actually making any headway with some of these claims and the court proceedings they're pushing for? And how's this going down in Washington? What's the reaction been?
Good morning, Rosie. Well, some would describe the press conference that was held on Thursday as nothing short of bizarre and a spectacle. And a lot of the lawsuits that the Trump administration has filed to challenge some of the voting results have been tossed out because of the lack of evidence. Judges are looking for concrete evidence, not anecdotal evidence coming from a third party or someone thought they saw something that they may or may not have. They're looking for something that is concrete, that is definitively an exhibition of an attempt to rig an election, to engage in voter fraud. And many judges just aren't seeing that. As many states, as they are completing their recounts, the results are not changing. They are still leaning in favor of President-elect Biden. But in that press conference, we heard from the president's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, once considered the hero of America just after 9/11, now somewhat embracing a caricature of himself in a way. He ranted about George Soros, a billionaire financier who was influencing the election. He talked about widespread voter fraud. He talked about big tech trying to sway the outcome of the election. All of these claims that he made were made without any evidence. He did not say anything specific. And he said the reason why he was doing that is to protect some of the people involved who knew the actual truth. And so when you put all of that together, some people said it really just amounted to a conspiracy theory. To add to all that, there was at one point during the press conference where it appeared that the former mayor's hair dye was running down his face as he was telling people to take him very seriously and that the president-elect stole the election. He was very serious, but it was hard for even seemingly the people who were on his team to hold themselves together as they saw the hair dye running down his face. And then some people looked at his words even more closely. And he said, "What I'm describing to you is a massive fraud." And some people picked apart that sentence, saying that his descriptor of a massive fraud is his description of how he's telling the story, and not so much that there was a widespread voter fraud across the country where the current president should have been the victor in the end.
Colin, thank you for bringing us up to date. Our reporter there in Washington, D.C.